There was this pundit while Chelsea are busy winning the Club World Cup, City is opening the gap.
Like, the one just wanted clout. Are you telling me being champions of the world is bigger than winning the Premier League? Like,
and it's not like maybe we sacrifice Premier League for that thing. Where we're supposed to play them.
You're supposed to play. Like, it's not the fact that Chelsea sacrificed the Premier League.
Yeah.
They are literally playing against the top clubs in the world. And then you're saying when that thing is he even called it the Mickey Mouse trophy. I'm like, what? Mickey Mouse trophy?
But there's a lot of teams who don't have that Mickey Mouse trophy. So what do you mean?
We are one of them.
Imagine Paul Pogba not being part of the top one. But anyways, man.
So we started.
We started.
Yeah.
I told you to start. We must start it the proper way, man. No, but I think we must thank the people who keep supporting us and watching.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it and keep on tuning to the most biased podcast in the world.
It's also the
most
biggest,
accurate.
the most accurate, the biggest football podcast in the country.
Just wait and see. We have something cooking. Also, just trying to. What do you say? I think you said something about FIFA tournament.
Yeah, we are trying to. We're trying to cook a FIFA tournament with the boys there.
So
there's always debate on who's best in FIFA, who's best in what. So I think we need to do a video where we actually, and I think it's gonna be fun if you put our money where our mouth is.
And I see.
So at the end of the tournament, someone gets.
No, I know that's the way.
Because
you must incentivize it.
Yeah, so because usually people don't take it serious. Like I can say, it's fine. We're gonna play FIFA, Mara. If I don't incentivize it, people are not gonna take it serious.
But how high or how low can you rate yourself?
I'm a very high boy.
Out of 10?
Very high. Out of 10, maybe 8.
It was truly out of 10.
I used to be at 10, now we're at 6.
Yeah, I think I'll give myself a 6 as well.
Yeah,
I'm at 4. Okay.
No, but yeah, we're going
I'm very good at FIFA, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, it's been like that. I don't know why, but I think I've mastered the art of FIFA.
I think I also at some point I think I had mastered it, but with FIFA for me I have to play it consistently, and I must be updated with the latest FIFA because the gameplay is not the same. I'm not making up excuses, but it is what it is. And I also had some discussions, which I was part of the discussions. The chairs also say we must do some reactions on time.
Match
reactions.
Watch along. I feel
maybe we can just pick one match in the weekend.
Do watch along. We should. Watch along.
Yeah, with at least one team that one of us supports.
Yeah.
More fun, then we can have like a proper reaction because someone is on a card.
I know if you can watch Manchester United, we'll get more reactions.
I feel like the only big match that you can watch is either it's Man United versus Arsenal or Chelsea versus Arsenal or Man United versus Chelsea. So I think Chelsea have played United twice already.
Once. Twice? Once.
No, but it must be a match that we agree because I see Manchester City and Man United can look like a big match on paper, but in terms of reaction, we already know what's going to happen.
You know, we don't take Man City fans seriously.
I think the
so obviously we can't do a watch along watching Manchester City.
Yeah.
It has to be Arsenal and Man U this season. Because
we can. They're fighting for top. It's gonna be a huge match. I think we should do a watch along for that.
Yeah, no, but I think we'll just decide when the time comes. Before I forget, I wanted to end with it, but I think let's just say it that we definitely, and we ask the SAFA and whoever is responsible, can we please go back to the stadium? Please.
Please, guys.
Please,
You know.
Please.
Yo. Guys,
come on.
you know, I was watching the Super Bowl, the American football.
Yeah.
Like, it was packed. Like, you know, when there's no people are not wearing masks. Like, it's like everything is back to normal.
Yeah.
And the United States used to be the highest country to have COVID cases. But right now, I think everything is back to normal.
It's
But
not
the
even
fact
about COVID anymore, though. It's
What
not.
the-
In
What
South
is it?
Africa,
What is it about?
I don't know. They must tell us. They must tell us
Why
are we not
why
going
don't
back
they
to
want
the
us to
stadium?
go?
Like, guys,
They must tell us. Okay, if it's
Becomes
COVID, they must
open.
tell us how many people are vaccinated. What's the limit? What's the threshold? How many people need to be vaccinated so that we
I
can go
remember,
back?
I
to
remember
the
they did
stadium?
say that they're going to allow people who are vaccinated to go to stadiums. Mara, we're still waiting even now. The season is coming to end. Mara, we're still not allowed in stadium.
No,
It's fucked up.
And it must come to an end. And you can even see the players on the field. They're just bored.
They're
because
just bored.
They're just bored because
You don't know that people are watching you.
and they're under no pressure,
No
like
pressure.
immediate pressure that you feel in the stadium. So they just miss and they do square passes. And, can we just go back to the stadium?
I think ever since fans were not allowed in stadium, the quality of football has been terrible.
And already
Like it was very bad.
Already.
But after fans were not allowed in stadiums, it got worse.
God works.
Like I was watching Pirates and
Arrows.
Arrows yesterday. Guys,
At least you watch them. I just knew they were playing.
You watch PSL for comedy reasons.
I was watching Chiefs. I was watching Chiefs and
Cape Town.
horrible match of football. Horrible match of football.
Horrible
like
play.
you guys.
But
Now we need-
it was a horrible match of football. But if there were fans in the stadium, you were going to see some action because
action.
they were going to demand some level of intensity.
Also, I think when it comes to the intensity from the coaches as well, because they know they're not gonna
They
get
are not under
any
pressure.
pressure from the fans, so they make like ridiculous decisions. So sometimes, like I don't understand how our country is run, guys. Like things are. We were campaigning for elections now. We were allowed
Stadiums
to
were full.
The stadiums were full, dog.
Yeah.
And they didn't even say
They
that
didn't
people
even-
must be vaccinated.
And then they can't even, like even we can't rugby matches, cricket matches, like all sports in general. We can't go watch sports because of certain agendas.
This thing must come to an end.
must
I
come
think.
to an end.
And the Soweto derby is coming.
Yes.
Do you want to watch the Soweto derby with no fans
With
in
no
the stadium?
fans. I mean, I don't understand.
What they're
I
doing
don't
to the
understand.
South African football, 5 years later, 6 years later, or even a decade later, they will see that this was probably the downfall of it.
Yeah.
Because
And it's like even when you look at other African countries, when you watch the CAF, what is it?
Champions League.
Yeah, CAF Champions Leagues and Confederations. Fans are back in
fans are
stadiums.
back,
And it's only us.
AFCON and Cameroon.
Afcon and Cameroon, there were fans. Stadiums were packed.
and we're watching the Champions League. Back to the real stuff, the Champions League. We're watching the Champions League, though. We see the football, but the atmosphere, we can never get to that level of football fans and fanatics if there are no fans in the stadium.
Yeah,
The
obviously.
atmosphere.
It's not gonna be the same. Like before, people didn't go to stadiums, Veles and Mzansi, but now you can see the importance,
impact.
and the impact of not having fans in stadiums.
So
So
I siyacela.
Yes.
I think that there was once a protest where it means they just brushed off that protest and continued with their broadcasting.
yeah, there was a
Because-
protest.
Yeah,
for-
there was a protest. I think it was Malema who
Yeah, who
organized
said
people.
said people might go back to stadiums.
Yeah, I think they went to the offices, to the SAP offices, I think. But
Ah, man.
It's
He wants us to. Oh, let me not say that. On live TV.
Boy, this is the most biased podcast in the country, dog. So you can say whatever you want. You're not gonna get cancelled. Whatever wants to cancel,
The disclaimer is clear.
just add allegedly, boy, you'll be fine. Just add allegedly to your statement and you'll be fine.
But fucking hell, man, we need to go back to the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I always miss the stadium, man. It's been 3 years.
It's been a long
3 years since the last.
And I'm triggered because with the Soweto derby, even if you're not in the stadium, but you can feel the stadium.
You can feel,
You
like,
can feel the stadium.
sure.
You can feel.
Man.
And it used to be a draw with fans in the stadium. Imagine now.
And you can imagine with Stuart Baxter, like, playing negative football. Like,
with no pressure for him to attack. He's going to play 5 defenders
again. You know, he plays 8
Bernard
defenders.
Park.
He plays
Everyone is a
defenders.
defender except Udol no Pelia. Those are the only attackers.
Udoli and Pilias are the only 2 football players that can score a goal, but there is no one who's supporting them.
Everyone.
Because the young kid, I'm fine.
I saw this other
I saw
this other
even
interview.
support as well. He doesn't play and he
said-
brings dynamism in the team.
Ubasa said his problem is that he cannot get all his best players in the starting 11. That's like you're failing coaching. If you cannot get all your best players in the starting 11, and you
I'm sure he's not about Dorkovic and Okas. According to him, that's his best player.
Because obviously, Bono, they are there.
Like all these young players, I don't know why he don't give them a chance. He plays what's that guy, the number 45? Blom in midfield. Blom can't even cross the ball fast.
But
guys.
But I still
and you play him in midfield.
I still blame boy. There's a lot of things that is wrong with that club, and even the coach is just one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can talk about it up until even Mugazi said PSL is better than Afcon.
And then he goes and then doesn't play Umahangu. How can you say stuff like that? How can you say
that was his explanation for him not picking Umahangu after Mango had a great Afcon. He said maybe, just maybe, the league in South Africa is better than Afcon.
And then you play Pepra. Guys.
I think he must just go back and coach Arrows.
Just go back and coach.
Those are the standards for
dog, like Pirates is a big
you
club.
can say that thing when you're coaching Arrows.
It's fine.
But if you're coaching Pirates or Chiefs or Sundowns, when you say that thing,
we're not gonna take you serious. Even the decisions that you make in the game.
Now
like,
we know
winning it.
At least win to justify your point.
If you can talk shit. Before he talked shit, but he was backing it up on whether how he was playing or what he win
the right on. And he was even Upito, he did the same thing. Upito was talking trash, but he was backing it up with results. Umjita, Pirates can't score goals. We have a terrible defense. Our
can't
team is
pick
shit.
the best players. He can't. Maybe his problem is Baxter's problems. He can't pick all his best level players.
I'm a Rupex who works, guys. You see, the fact Davids, they're shit, but Baxter is worse. You can't play 8 defenders against Abu Chipa United and Abu Baroka.
It's the level of the players. It's because there is no one who's challenging them. Also, like I mean, if you are going to play, I have nothing against those teams that are Isabella, like those other smaller teams, but I mean they tend to build the vets into what is it now?
Also another thing, also this thing you're telling about status is messing up our football. Because I was looking at it, ETTM bought status vets, right, to come into the PSL. Yeah. And then when they came into the PSL, they were not ready to be there.
No money. They were like, hey, it's salaries on
within one season, that's a change to TTM. I think that's and a big institution like
vets, dog.
So many young players that were coming through. I A few years ago, we were celebrating that they were in the PSL for, I think, since they were formed, 95 years or something.
95 years ago. Guys, no, it must
in
come
one
to
season, it perished to 2 teams. Now it's Marumo Gallant. Who plays for Marumo Gallant?
Nobody plays. Like, we don't even know who plays for Marumo Gallant.
Come on. But let's talk about the Champions League. It's called. This thing is really depressing.
That's
It's really depressing because instead of talking about the Champions League, we could be talking about the PSL more. But there's no action. Okay, let's talk about the Pirates game, boy. What happened?
The only thing that happened in that Pirates game was that
there was a handball.
There was a clear handball, and it wasn't given. Like that's the only highlight of the game. There was a clear handball, and the referee was in front of the play. He didn't give the handball.
Yeah, everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. I was telling Max, what if VAR it can come here? It's not gonna be the same. Look fun, no fun, no
It's your collective
I
don't understand, Gucci. The ball, you literally in front of the play. But as a referee, Gucci, you should be not obscured of the action. You should be in line with play. Umtita was in line with play. You can see the ball changing direction.
And
then it's telling you,
Gucci. And it's worse. If you haven't seen that clip, you must go and watch that clip. It's the only trending clip here in the match.
The whole game.
And it's not like it's ball to an Umchita, Loe Arrows. He took a dive.
A dive.
Like a goalkeeper. And then it hits him in there, on the arm, and then to make it worse, the ball deflected over the crossbar. So it didn't hit him anyway.
It was gonna go in.
And it hit him in the arm worse, and he was going to stop the ball with the arm. But
it shows the level of football in our country, though. Like officiate, like I was very surprised when they selected Victor Gomes for the AFCON final. I'm like, guys, do you honestly trust South African referees to referee an AFCON final? But such a big stage like that.
But big ups to him. I think he handled that well. But
but in general, like for the fact that same referee was suspended for giving Chiefs a penalty against Amazon. That wasn't a penalty. He was suspended. But he gave Chiefs a penalty.
As much as you don't want to say it, but it's like this thing of bidding for World Cups and everything. The only reason he got the opportunity is because he's South African and we have the higher people in SAFA that can select players and stuff. And that's the only reason for me, because obviously South African. So once he is up there officiating Mo Salah against we root for him. But in the PSL, do you think he's the best referee in the PSL? Will you like him to referee matches where Pirates are winning?
The thing is, he doesn't like.
He's going to give for the card. He makes the match about him and.
All the time, and especially when he's refereeing a Chiefs game or a Pirates game or a Sundowns game,
because
he always has
he wants to be on the spotlight and
all the time.
That's the wrong reason.
And I think I think SAFA and FIFA should introduce this thing. Like how players and coaches have to come to media and get interviewed with why did you guys play badly or why. I think referees now should be forced to go and explain some of the decisions that they take in the game. Yeah. For instance, just like yesterday's decision, that decision costed Pirates points. So he needs to come and say, the reason why I didn't give a penalty was because of 1, 2, 3. Now we are speculating or
and also they must also be accountable.
Yeah, they must be accountable.
They must be accountable. Okay, you didn't see it in the match, but whose fault is that?
Whose
your fault.
And
so they must ban you for a few games, or you must fine something. So they must be accountable.
They have to be
report
accountable
to someone.
Unless this thing is going to continue. But
okay, but the football is continuing like this. So
boy.
I think it's mediocre football.
Mediocre.
Even the kids, man. If you watch
the Colorado's kid, I'm like, no.
And
in 2022, you have a kid like that.
And the kids for the referees as well. It's outshines. We say, we're not saying don't advertise, but don't let the referee be like the spotlight of the match, because it's like there's a technical now on his back.
Like,
come on.
I saw in the Nedbank Cup they were using the Champions League ball. I'm like, guys, it's South Africa's biggest cup, sponsored by a big brand like that brand. You're using the Champions League ball, so you're telling me you can't buy.
You could have even branded the football in NetBank something.
Sure, boy. And that time it's Pirates. I think it was Pirates against. I can't remember who it was. And I'm like, guys, you're advertising a European brand in Africa
And for free.
For free.
It's for free.
Guys, I'm like, now we need a serious change, man.
We need a serious change.
That's why people don't watch South African football. It's because of such things.
Yeah.
But who must watch? It's us.
It's us.
The people like us, or the people who are supposed to watch, are not watching. How are you selling it to people who are outside the country?
Outside the continent. Even on continent. That's why they don't take South African club seriously when we go to Africa, because they know we are just a Mickey Mouse league. It's just the money generating.
It's full of money, but the money is not doing anything for the league. Maybe it's doing something for the owners and for the people out there. But
let's just hope this guy, Petrus Motsepe is going to change the fortunes of South African football, because Yamana Sundowns did try to take us back to where we belong, but it feels like the rest of the teams are not doing anything.
As much as Sundowns,
it's elevating their game. It is the Pirates, and who are supposed to be up there with the Sundowns. They're not doing anything. They're worse.
It's what I was saying, boy. It's what I was saying. As much as Chiefs and Paris, they're not at their top. But who is challenging them? Where is the big vest to challenge them to?
Yeah.
They sold it, they exchanged data. Where is the Celtic? We used to have Celtic.
Yeah.
Where is Celtic now?
And Celtic was a very.
So now the Celtic is gone. Now it's a small team. So all these teams that are supposed to challenge the so-called bigger teams, all of them, they're being sold, they're being exchanged. It's money transactions now.
Yeah.
So how do you expect the league to improve like that? It's horrible, man. It's horrible.
I mean, I'm just praying Petrus Motsepe changes.
It's horrible. But
even
big
the
up to
culture.
Sundowns, big up to Sundowns. We see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's Sundowns are doing.
We see what they're doing.
But I also don't like this thing. Yeah, we're talking about player for no reason. Like they're just buying the league.
I think when you write Sundowns,
they must stop because they are competing. They are competing.
It's like if Bayern can buy players
because they are competing in the Champions League. Because now there's nothing to
compete. It's a farmers league, man. You can't just collect because the Chiefs and the Pirates. You gotta go to Al Ahly and then
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because all the big players, no one's going
to. But Chiefs and the Pirates continue.
They must just continue. Eventually, everyone is going to root for Sundowns. I'm not saying. I'm saying everyone. I'm saying even. When Bafana plays and Sundowns play, you're going to have more hope that Sundowns is going to win than Bafana. Because they are doing they are on a very good path in terms of their football projects. But let's talk about the Champions League.
It was a.
And obviously on a smaller note. we won some small club there.
Oh, Chelsea winning the Club World Cup, man. Chelsea winning the Club World Cup.
Winning a small club in this
I think Chelsea, in terms of winning trophies, they are specializing in that now.
Chelsea are serial winners, though. I think in the past 10 years or 20 years, they've been the most successful.
In terms of a club that you know that they're probably winning a trophy. It doesn't matter who the coach is or
the coach is. They just win. They just a winning mentality.
The coach
I don't.
Mr.
Estrudy, you know this. Has there ever been a season where Chelsea doesn't win anything, or if there was 2 seasons in a row, not even an FA Cup?
2 seasons.
I don't remember. 2 seasons it doesn't happen. At Chelsea,
never.
At Chelsea,
and they just come back and win big trophies.
Big trophies all the time. I feel like you see if Manchester United and Arsenal would get an owner like Roman Abramovich, there would be ridiculous competition in the league. Because Umtida doesn't settle for mediocrity. I even saw him when he hired Lampard. I'm like, the Chelsea legends, the club's top goal scorer. Umtida doesn't care. Chelsea legend, club top goal scorer. As long as you're not delivering, I'm gonna sack you, and he did.
He did.
He doesn't sack him for mediocrity.
Best decision.
Best decision. Best decision. It turns out, yeah. Nobody not Champions League, nobody not Club World Cup, and then Super Cup.
After it was easy for Chelsea to say they're rebuilding or
very easy.
But-
Very easy. They got.
but they never said that they were rebuilding. They instead they hired Conte. Conte won them the Premier League.
Yeah.
In one season without even building. He won.
There was this pundit while Chelsea are busy winning the Club World Cup, City is opening the gap now.
Like, the one just wanted clout. Are you telling me being champions of the world is bigger than winning the Premier League? Like,
and it's not like maybe we sacrifice Premier League for everything. Where we're supposed to play the
You're supposed
league.
you're supposed to play. Like, it's not the fact that Chelsea sacrificed the Premier League.
Yeah.
They are literally playing against the top clubs in the world.
And
And then you're saying when that thing is he even called it the Mickey Mouse trophy. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Mickey Mouse trophy. But there's a lot of teams who don't have that Mickey Mouse trophy.
Yeah.
So what do you mean?
We are one of them, and we literally pray every single day to participate in
You
that
see,
trophy.
and even before, it's not like Chelsea were challenging for the league.
Nah, they were not.
Yeah.
They were already out. When they went to play, they were out of the title race. So it's Liverpool and
then City now.
Manchester City. So it's like we just want to
And arguably,
To
Liverpool
bash
is
Chelsea.
out as well.
Yeah, arguably, you
yeah,
can say
they are
Liverpool
out,
is also
but because it's not over yet.
I just didn't understand. Okay, we're supposed to lose game.
Supposed to be fused.
I didn't understand what he was
Play.
hoping to achieve, honestly. But I think he was jealous because Angiti maybe is affiliated with Manchester City, and because it was supposed to be them, but they didn't. So Umchita just wanted clout.
So he's a Manchester City fan.
I don't know, but I
Not
think
sure.
it's just
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
think
think which one was it thinking.
I'm telling you, boy, there is no sane football fan who thinks like that.
Never.
There is no sane football fan. Oti, Chelsea were playing Mickey Mouse and they're losing.
Liverpool, when they had to play that when they had to participate in the Club World Cup,
Yeah.
they even sacrificed the FA Cup.
Yeah, they played
To
young
play,
boys.
they play young boys in the FA Cup to play the Club World Cup.
So
then
which
you're
which one is the Mickey Mouse?
then you're calling it Mickey Mouse.
Maybe FA Cup is the Mickey Mouse. Because FA Cup you play every season. And
You
Liverpool sacrifice that. Because
Yeah.
you always have a chance to win that. You can't sacrifice the Club World Cup because
Never.
you need to win the Champions League to play.
Yes, to
there.
play there.
in the Champions League.
And before that, you need to be in the Champions League. Just to qualify.
No, that's ridiculous. But
That
shout out
was very
to.
ridiculous. Wow. I shout
But
out to Chelsea.
what do you think? What do you think is the ceiling for Chelsea
I feel like
Even this season.
This season, yeah.
I think we Champions League.
I think-
semis. That's the ceiling. I'm being realistic now.
yeah.
And then FA Cup we can win it.
So you're saying that's FA Cup and Champions League same.
Yeah, and Club World Cup and the Super Cup that you want. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Tuchel can get away with not winning any other trophy right now, even if they can lose to. And you remember, Chelsea was still in the final against Liverpool for the Carabao Cup.
You see.
So
Oh,
and
yes,
they can still win the FA Cup. So it's good, looking good for Chelsea. The only trophy that they're honestly looking for is the league. But I mean, they can always challenge for the league next season.
This is
Yeah, this season is out. They can only challenge for the league next season. But
And it pains me talking about this thing because, serious for my team, the season is like this. The season is over. The season is over, and it was one of those seasons where we were hoping that.
like people were saying,
it was supposed to be our 10th winning season or even challenging. We were back fighting for top 4, and our
Wait.
team is in shambles.
Because you're out of FA Cup.
out of every trophy, just like us.
Trophy.
Just like
So
us.
only trophy top 4, man.
And even that top 4 is
I saw
not looking good.
I saw a stat that said Man United are the highest spending club in Europe for the past decade, I think. They've spent over
Probably.
1 billion pounds
Yeah, I
on
think-
players and managers.
I think when I saw that, I think we
I was
were
like, yo,
5 million or like 10 million over Manchester City, but
yeah,
at least Manchester City you can see.
you can see why
If you say they are buying the league, okay, at least they bought it, they have it.
Yeah. That's why I'm never bothered by that thing because Chelsea bought their success. Okay, fine, the success is here. It's here.
Yeah, you
I think
can,
so,
like,
enjoy
no,
it.
it's not a lie that Chelsea and City bought the
Yeah.
success. But they
Yes,
bought
successful
the,
in
you can
buying
see
it.
that they bought.
But it's not in your
We try to buy it, we still don't have it, and we don't have a team. Our players are on the most ridiculous wages ever. If you can look at the wage structure for Liverpool and Manchester City, and look at our wages, even Rashford is earning better than Henderson. Let that sink in.
I think that's what Chelsea is trying to avoid with Rudik. As much as I think he deserves low 500.
But once you start giving players,
but the whole thing, if you start buying into players' demands and being bullied by players,
you
are on
end
the
up being
wrong path. You are on the
end up
wrong
being a
path.
Mickey Mouse club like United.
United, I'm very disappointed, and I can just say this is probably the lowest the club has ever been in terms of like maybe not performances and league position, but in terms of like optimism with the club or where can we be? Because right now it's the start of the rebuild again. I'm saying, and maybe it hasn't even started because we don't have a manager, we don't have
like and you see if United don't qualify for the Champions League, right? I don't know that's gonna be over for the club in a long time. Manchester United's success in the future right now depends on them qualifying for the Champions League.
and I think
because obviously you can, in terms of high profile players, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Varane, Pogba, De Gea, all of these players, they can't play European football, Europa League.
I think
Their egos don't allow them to play Europa League. So if they don't qualify for the Champions League, these players are gonna leave.
I think it's true, but also I've also had to think about it very carefully. If we get top 4, it's probably going to be worse than if we don't get top 4. Because I mean, if you are the player and you didn't qualify for Champions League, and then we get Europa, but because we got Europa now you want to leave, then you may as well leave because who are supposed to qualify? It's you. And if we get top 4, then we can attract big players. We can sell ourselves as we're going to play Champions League. So if a big league come to us, okay, but we don't need that solution. We don't need a quick fix solution right now. We don't need, because if in Champions League we try to convince Pogba to stay, convince Ronaldo to stay, and we try to get one player just so that one big signing for the fans, and then we play again and we hope that it works out again. But if you go to the Europa or if you don't qualify, then you should rebuild properly. And if Pogba leaves, if Ronaldo leaves, if Cavani leaves, if all the players that you've mentioned leave, they can leave so that we can start with the proper rebuild. Because it's going to be the same thing every year. We try to fit one big signing and it doesn't work out. It's even worse. There are problems in the dressing room. Then, because that's what the owners need. They just need, as long as they get money, Champions League rights and TV rights, it's enough. They can continue. They will never invest in the
That's the problem we had at Arsenal. I remember there was a point where Arsene Wenger said getting top 4 is literally the best thing that Arsenal can do as a club. So I think United are also going to fall into that trap because obviously if you get Champions League, as you said, TV rights, you get money from qualifying in the Champions League. So the owners are happy.
So now we're a top 4 club basically.
Yeah, essentially.
And Ralph has said it, that it's not a coincidence that every season we challenge for top 4. It means, surely someone in the club must not behave that you always for top 4. Yeah. But it means the board is happy if we get top 4. Yeah. If you consistently get top 4, they are happy. And I don't think the fans are happy with top 4 anymore.
Nah, the fans, especially United fans, you know when you're used to so much success and then now it's been like so many years without proper
10 years now.
10 years now without winning a league.
It's like 10 years and the rebuild hasn't even started.
It's crazy, man.
It was going to be fine if they saw that dreams that they were rebuilding.
And I feel like there's huge problems at United. I think if you look at Manchester City and how they are run, Manchester City looks like a family. You can see that this club is run like it's a business, but it's run like a family. Because I remember when they had problems, about Foden, Grealish, like the way they handled their problems as a club, like they managed to protect their players in everything. But if you look at United, if Pogba plays well, the blame is on Pogba. If maybe there's a goal considered, it's Maguire.
There's always a scapegoat.
Like there's always a scapegoat. Like nobody.
There are always stories.
There's always stories all the time.
And we reward players that don't need new contracts because they are loyal, or because it was if Aguero was playing for United, or if Company was playing for United, or if David Silva was playing for United, if Yaya Toure was playing, you can count all the players that Manchester City has had to let go, because as much as they were good, but in terms of what they want to do, we have Mata is still in the club just because he's a good guy. We want Matic with a new contract, but he doesn't play, he's old, just because they are good guys. What
there's
can
no
Matic...
Phil Jones
Imagine
at United in 2021, 2022. There's
what
no
can those
Phil
what
Jones.
can those players give you? And if we're true and we're honest,
There's still Phil Jones, boy.
if I'm telling you, if Aguero was playing for United, they were going to reward him with a new contract, or they were going to make it something, our legend, and those legends, they must rest now.
They must rest.
They must rest now.
Yeah, but I saw you were complaining about yesterday's game. I'm like, the game on Tuesday.
We got pinned by 10 men Brighton,
10 men
and
Brighton.
not pinning that they're hoofing long balls to the ball.
They were actually playing.
Yeah.
They created chances. You see, if Brighton took their chances, they were gonna win the match. It's just that they were unlucky.
Watching that match, United only had a spell maybe 10 to 15 minutes after half time, which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
First half was trash. Like the last two games before that game, the first half they played very well. Then they switched off second half.
Yeah.
This time it was just and it's not a mistake, because you can do all those things against Southampton and Ben. You can try for the first 45 minutes, but Brighton is not a small team in terms of football.
Yeah, they play.
They will play from the get-go.
Yeah, plays.
I watched Cucurella and I watched our fullbacks. No one is even close to Cucurella. I watched McTominay, I watched Besuma.
Yo, boy.
Not even close.
Not even close, man. And this is Brighton.
And this is Brighton. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I was even surprised. Why are they playing a Premier League game on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Guys, why didn't you schedule it for Thursday?
But it's fine. It was a small game. It's fine. It was a small game, that one. And I heard you saying Pogba and whoever mainly, but now Pogba is not playing. For McFred.
Why was he not playing then?
I don't know. Maybe he's not good enough.
And I
don't know. There's really no reason to bench Pogba, dog.
I remember they used to give him stick when he used to cut his hair like terribly.
But he was the best player.
Right now he cuts his hair properly.
And he plays, and he's the best player. He's the best player.
Agendas in the club.
There was free Pogba.
Maguire is always costing United points, but he's always in the starting lineup.
And they never criticize him.
They never criticize him. I don't know.
They'll rather look for a scapegoat, or they'll say the opposition team was just too good.
And it's gotten to a point where Maguire, if he doesn't make a mistake leading to a goal in a game,
It's
he
a
gets
good
shocked. You get shocked. What happened? So even if it's like he didn't make a mistake, that's for him. That's a good game.
That's a good game.
But that's
Captain Ronaldo.
Captain of United. That's your standard. That's if you don't make a mistake,
then you had a
good game. No, it's the United. Whatever they are going through, or how they're managing the clubs, the same thing as Kaizer Chiefs. Same thing as Kaizer Chiefs.
Kaizer Chiefs is just the biggest stage.
But you can replace the coach, you can replace the players. But if you have not fixed the core problem, which like the owners and the board, because At the end of the day, they must see the things that we're seeing. And if they're not seeing the things that we're seeing,
And the good chips you can pinpoint. Pop State.
I can't eat it.
But yeah, man, I was really disappointed with the PSG Real Madrid game, man.
PSG Madrid. Max called it.
Guys.
Max called
You
it.
see,
I remember when we were doing predictions.
I called PSG.
Was it on the podcast or we were just talking?
No, I think it was on the podcast.
Yeah, on the podcast.
Yeah, it was on the
Because
podcast.
and the PSG was supposed to win by a margin.
Imagine.
That's why PSG, I never respected their small team.
They're a small team.
Hey, this is the Champions League. If you
If you don't take your chances, if you don't take your chances,
Yeah.
they're going to come back and bite you.
Yeah.
Another note, I've been watching Messi for the longest time.
Yo, guys.
It was
Wait,
I think that was the most horrible performance of I've seen.
Because I know Messi.
I know.
And I love Messi,
Yeah.
but
You
I
see,
do agree.
that
I
game on
remember
Tuesday,
him
like
doing
that
anything
game on
right.
Tuesday, like guys, now I've been saying this is a fraud, and people are saying no, and I've been questioning why he won the Ballon d'Or. And yes, on Tuesday, you see, when PSG bought Messi, we were all like, it's gonna be PSG, but it's gonna be a big team now.
Yeah.
And Messi was bought for those clutch moments where you need someone to step up in a big game.
Yeah.
I promise you, even if he had taken that penalty and given it to Mbappe, he was gonna put it top corner, boy. Top corner.
I
But
think he can go-
Messi, like he let his team down, he let himself down. Like he wasn't even trying in that club. in that game.
I'm like, I can understand. Penalty, Messi, I don't know why he always takes penalties. It's not a good penalty.
You see, the penalty was just like-
No, it is a good penalty
I
taker.
don't think so.
At some point,
he's been missing penalties ever since that Chelsea won the Champions League.
yeah, when he missed.
Messi has always had that thing in logo he's gonna miss.
Miss.
I'm not even talking about penalties. The
The
performance.
performance,
He was playing
because
shit.
because-
He was playing shit.
that's one thing that I've always liked about Messi.
Yeah.
That he doesn't need to score.
Yeah.
But
you can watch.
and according to me, the only reason he insisted on taking that penalty is because he knew that in the game he hadn't affected anything.
Yeah.
So the only thing that was going to save him is a goal against Real Madrid, and it's a wrong reason to take a penalty.
Yeah.
Especially for Messi, because we know what Messi can do in the field of play.
Yeah.
He didn't even try.
He didn't even try it though.
He didn't even try. I mean, he didn't even try. But I saw they gave him his spoke with that. Those disrespectful motherfuckers, because they gave him 3/10. It was a bad performance, but
Rating.
not below a 5.
Nah, it is below 5. I
No,
feel like
I think 5. I think 5.
even Danilo, you see the Danilo Pereira played better than Messi though. And that guy is probably the worst player in that PSG.
At least because he was on the ball. With Messi, dog, I love Messi, but I've never seen him put up a quality performance.
yeah.
And in
I
a
think
big
it was the
stage,
first time.
it's the first match of the Champions League knockout stages. It's Real Madrid versus PSG, the biggest stars in world football right now. Umchita doesn't even try. Though.
I just go to
It
see.
even took PSG to bring on Neymar to have an effect on the game.
I think
And it was
Yeah,
Neymar.
it doesn't look that
It doesn't look interesting.
interesting.
He
doesn't look
Remember I
interesting.
told you. Remember I
I
did tell you.
Yes, that's what I'm just saying. It like
That's
the
not
one
doesn't
that
make sense to me now, because man, that's not
Messi has never done this bad,
Yeah,
I understand
yeah, that's
people.
true.
I
I can
understand
have
people
no
saying-
accent, but that's not him.
I understand people criticizing Messi because they're saying it, but I don't think I've seen Messi this bad.
Yeah, that's true.
I-
It's been terrible.
You-
And it's not like it's in the Champions League only. Apparently, even in the league. Like,
No, I
it's been
also
like
watched. I also watched the cup when they crashed out of the cup. I think they were playing. What's the
When
team?
I was wearing number 10.
Yeah, when I was playing number 10. When I was wearing number 10. It
You
was
won number 10.
Yeah, for that because name was not
Yeah,
there.
they
Oh.
Yeah, for that cup.
didn't even have now their names on
Oh,
the
okay.
paper.
Yeah, and after this performance, I would think that's like the next worst performance. But at least that he played. I would
Yeah.
say he played. Yesterday,
And all eyes were on him. You know, like when PSG plays against Real Madrid, you know, eyes are gonna be on Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, all of those big players.
But one
especially
thing,
because it's Messi against Madrid.
It's
You
Messi
know
against
what he
Madrid.
does against Madrid.
You know what he does against Real Madrid all the time. So I'm sure
But
people were
what I did-
expecting
what I did
him.
not-
At some point, I saw Cruz marking Messi and he got the ball. And I was like, man.
Cruz was not marking Messi.
Yeah.
Don't
Not
forget.
marking Messi. And he was taking the ball out
And
of
was
him. And it's not
taking-
even a good tackle on Toni Kroos.
Cruz is
But-
not known for marking. He thought he was marking Messi.
But even more Cruz, they must be disappointed in themselves. They talk too much. Even more Benzema, it's a lot about these players these days. They are always on the media talking, hey, we got this and this. On the field of play, they come there to defend. And
Yeah,
they-
man, I think it was
At least Thomas Muller backs it up.
At least Thomas Muller, you can't talk shit when you come to defend.
Yeah, but I think it was
Toni Kroos' highlight was men marking Messi and getting the ball. Okay, good enough, but you know what Toni Kroos can do in the Champions League.
Yeah. But I feel like it was a bad tactic from Carlo Ancelotti. I don't know why you're literally Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. You're going away from home in an important knockout match. And
He
you're
never
going there
tried to
defend.
attack.
Like
He
not
never-
even once.
he
You have-
never attempted
you
to
have
attack.
Yeah, I
Vinicius
don't
Junior,
remember.
Asensio, two of the youngest footballers in the world. You have Karim Benzema, the hottest striker right now.
Yeah.
That game,
Probably
he
the
had-
best trio in midfield for the past 7 years.
and that defense is not bad.
And that defense is not bad. You have Mendy,
Alaba.
Alaba,
Yeah.
and then you're going there to defend.
defend.
You can't tell me the midfield of Paredes, Varati, and Danilo Pereira
Danilo
is
is a
better
minus.
than
Danilo is a minus.
minus.
He's
though.
a minus.
Minus, but he was playing like a
The
prime
best thing that he
champion.
can do is to drop off to right back. That's what he was doing. So that
Yeah, he was dropping it because Hakim has to attack.
because Hakim was the most attacking player.
Mm,
But how
most
good,
creative.
how good is Hakim, though?
Yeah, he was very good, very good.
But those fullbacks,
And I saw he was very good on one-on-one battles with Vinicius
Mendy.
Junior. I was very fascinated to see that battle between Hakim and Vinicius Junior.
Pocketed
And
him.
you pocketed him.
Pocketed
Yeah.
him.
After the game, in his pocket though.
But I think
The whole time.
I
And
think
it's not like he was
Tricking
he was
me.
attacking as
He
well.
was
I think
attacking
Vinicius
us,
Junior though is Ancelotti failed him because as much as you want to go one-on-one against, but you need the space to run into, you need the balls to be
Even
coming in.
Mendy didn't support Vinicius.
You need
So
the
like
balls
it was-
coming in, but if the whole team is not attacking, you cannot just pick up the ball and just run at people. Obviously, they're going to pocket you then.
It was just a terrible
But
tactic from
but
Real Madrid.
it's what you're saying, though, that
I
ever
think
since they took away that away goal,
Away goal rule, yeah. It's been,
Yeah, it's gonna be different.
But-
What's the reason, Vela? Why did they take away
money.
goal?
for money.
it's for money because you are because like it or not, you're going to play two legs, okay, and
The bigger team is more likely.
the bigger team is more
More
likely
likely
to
to win,
progress.
progress.
So on average, it's basically now we were watching the league. I was telling you it's true that it's a
Yeah.
league now.
It's a league, yeah.
Because you need to outscore me over two legs.
Mm.
And if you don't outscore me, we go to extra times and we kick penalties. That's like the longest time that you can get in the biggest competition, and you can put a lot of ads there and then generate money. I think that's what they're doing. Because because it's PSG and Madrid, and we know that there's a possibility of extra time. So how many ads can we put in there?
Yeah, that's true.
And at the end of the day, the
Airtime.
bigger team is going to win. So
Yeah, at time as well. Also, but I feel like it was a bad tactic from Carlo Ancelotti because I was watching Liverpool yesterday, and Liverpool were playing against the Inter,
Yeah.
and they were away from home, right?
they didn't go for it, but
They didn't go. But I think it's because they didn't go for it because Inter was onto them.
But
That's the
they
only-
had an
they
attacking
were,
player.
they were. Liverpool wanted to attack. It's just that they couldn't attack because the Inter was onto them. Because they pressed. Like I remember, there was like 6 or 7 players on Liverpool's half when the ball was when Alisson was taking the goal kick. So you can see they pressed them too much, so they didn't have space. Mara, they managed to win 2-0. At some point, Inter I think ran out of steam because they couldn't keep up with Liverpool's
Liverpool
heavy
went
metal
football.
heavy metal football. But I feel like the scraping away of away goals rule is trash. Remember we did speak about it,
Yeah.
and now I see it with why Max was saying it's trash. It's trash though. Like people,
There's
like
no
teams, there's
football
no
fan who
intensity.
wants who wants
There's
to
no
see
incentives for the away team to attack now because they know it's fine. Even if you don't attack, we're gonna go back.
It's
home.
like a decision they just made. Who has ever complained about away goal?
No one.
No, man.
In fact, it adds to the
excitement. Now we need to weather.
if they are going to
bring
fail
it back.
and do this to us, because the next thing they are going to shorten the matches, just like the extra yesterday, that the matches.
Perez
Said the football matches are too long, man.
That's what he said.
Who says that? There's no football fan ever says 90 minutes is too long.
Like I am busy.
I can't be watching football for 90 minutes. Football has been there for more than 100 years, and the man is saying the thing is too long.
But Liverpool is got a dog. Liverpool has embarrassed AC Milan and Inter Milan at San Siro in the Champions League in one season.
One season, dog.
Oh yeah.
One season, man. Liverpool
How good are they?
Liverpool is goated, bro.
I think
I love their signings. Like Liverpool they don't splash big money. They just go for whoever they want. No one wanted Jota. They went for him. Look now what he's doing. No one was looking for Diaz. Like every signing that they make,
even Salah and Mane.
Even Salah and Mane,
you can money. They don't splash a lot of cash,
but their signings are always on point. Always on point.
And I saw, that's when you know a team has a good system, because I saw Harvey Elliott was playing the youngest Liverpool player to start the Champions League.
Yeah.
And did you see a liability?
Yeah, no.
There was no liability. Maybe you can say another player maybe would have performed better, but it was not a liability. Beating the team like a club.
Like a club environment. It was just a good away Liverpool for
And Manchester City.
I remember I told you Manchester City are gonna win. I'm telling you guys, Manchester City are gonna win this trophy.
Let's phone in the draft time.
Pep is on a mission, guys.
I think I don't think Champions League is not easy, but
our Pep is on a mission.
This is a knockout boy.
Our Pep.
Why Pep getting me a goal?
But you remember when they got knocked out by Liverpool in 2018 over 2 legs?
Yeah.
I think if the Champions League had no away goal rule, it's not easy to knock out a team like Manchester City.
Yeah, it's
just like it's not easy to knock out a team like Liverpool. But if it's over 2 legs and there's an away goal rule, one goal changes the match, it changes the completion, it forces
the
managers to do something that maybe they will never do. But I think, I don't entirely agree with you, but over 2 legs, you are most likely to lose against Manchester City. There's no away goal.
If there's no away goal.
No matter where you are.
No matter where you are. It's like Manchester City can go if, for instance, maybe they get drawn with Liverpool. They know they can just go to Liverpool and park the bus essentially, and
not really pass, just pass the ball.
Just pass the ball and not go for it.
Yeah.
And then they know when they come to the Etihad, the pitch is bigger.
And that's what
that's essentially what Real Madrid wanted to do.
And that's not the Champions League.
And that's not the Champions League.
You're just playing an FA Cup or Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
It's a Carabao Cup,
but for big clubs.
Big clubs.
Because as much as I don't agree that Manchester City will win the league or the Champions League, or at least I don't want them to win the Champions League. But over 2 legs,
they're gonna win.
You cannot. Who can outscore Manchester City?
No one can outscore Manchester City.
The closest thing is Liverpool.
You saw how Bayern. We was truly was saying Bayern is gonna win the league. Did you see what
they drew?
But
they drew.
Yeah, but they were playing a decent team.
Salzburg is a decent team.
Who's that coach? Who's the coach for Salzburg? Is it not?
I think you're thinking of Leipzig.
Oh, I was thinking Leipzig.
No, Salzburg.
Salzburg, from where Haaland and Minamino are from.
I got confused by the Red Bull.
It's Salzburg.
No, but
I didn't watch the game. I was like shocked. It was Bayern. What happened?
No, that was a big score though. If there was still the away goal rule, but without
if there was an away goal.
But now, do you think that team is going to try and knock out Bayern? They will never make it. Over 2 legs,
obviously, when they go to Allianz Arena, it's going to be a Bayern.
They will never make it.
Bayern won many goals. That's going to put everyone, Lewandowski, Coman, Muller, Gnabry. everyone in Ghana. I mean, it's gonna go for it. But I feel like, man, they need to bring back how we go.
Or they must create another competition.
Because
the Champions League is done.
The Champions League is done. They must
Super League, here we go.
The Super League. I don't support the Super League, but it's going to be a different competition. And if they're going to do this with the Champions League, let's just see the Super League as well. Or anything. Because they must try to invent their own competitions.
I was looking at I received a notification on my phone, and then it was a SuperSport app telling me that Barcelona are going to play in the Europa League. What's going on in this one? Yo.
That's the idea football.
That's the nice football,
I'm like, what?
And it's a big game for Barcelona.
It's a big game for Barcelona.
It's a big game for Barcelona. And they're in the Europa. But personally,
Out of the last 22.
Big game
I
for Barcelona.
feel for Barcelona, boy, if they're not going to win the tournament in Europa, they might as well crash out of it early.
Yeah.
Because the Europa, it's not a tournament to win, but for them it's a tournament to win because they're not supposed to be there in the first place. And also they are fighting for top 4, and if they win the Europa, then they qualify for the Champions League. But it doesn't help for them to add so many games just to lose in the semi-finals or in the finals. And now they're probably number 6 in the league. Now they don't get the Champions League both ways. But if they crash out, they can focus on the league.
Mara Barcelona is going to qualify for Champions League.
I think they're on the right path. I know I'm biased, but I trust that Xavi.
No, I watched that Atletico Barcelona match, and they looked very good. Those new signings, they look very good. I don't know how long they can keep that up, Mara. They look very good.
I told Kevin when they were playing. There was this other cup they played in
Copa del Rey.
No, I think it was a Spanish Super Cup.
Oh,
They played in Saudi Arabia or whatever.
Madrid.
Yeah, that game was even. They even went to extra time. Madrid won 3-2. But it was a decent game. But Kevin didn't want to agree to that. But it was a different Barcelona that you could see they're doing something.
Xavi's on the right.
Maybe it just says something about Madrid and where they are.
Yeah.
They're not that good yet.
Nah, but
Madrid.
I feel like now they're on the Real Madrid are on a building phase. Obviously, if they win the league, then they can attract like big players. Maybe they've signed back. Maybe they're waiting to sign Haaland. And they also want to remove other players from high wages.
Yeah, I saw Bailey is scored.
What kind of Bailey?
Is his contract ending or?
Yes,
his contract.
Finally.
They sent out on loan. He came back. His contract was still.
And also, I hope to be fair to him, it was like, Peru paying for me is a Madrid legend.
Yeah, he is.
And it was like,
not respected winning
for Champions League.
But Madrid, they never respect their legends. You see the way, I won't even talk about Casillas because you saw it. The way Ronaldo went out, it was not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
For someone who has done so much.
The top goal scorer in short space of time.
Then they went and gave the number 7 to Mariano. But Perez is goated. Perez is a goat. That man has the football well played. By the scrotum is in charge.
Don't be surprised when you're playing 60 minutes at some point.
That man is in charge. Other team pulled out of the Super League. He's still there.
He still wants the
He's
Super League.
still in the Super League. I think Barcelona, Bayern, not Bayern, Juventus and Madrid. And he told them that they cannot pull out. Those teams, I think they wanted to pull out, but they couldn't.
But I mean, dog, that man runs that thing like a business. Man. He's not there to. He's not there about loyalty. He doesn't even care if you. Like it's so how Sergio Ramos left.
Like, you see,
the most successful Real Madrid captain
they just
ever.
send a message.
It's like, it's fine, you can leave. Send a tweet with I'm They don't do, usually when a player leaves, for instance, I remember when Xavi left and Iniesta, they played a memorial match.
Yeah.
Real Madrid
Oh, the last match you can see.
Real Madrid,
We focus on the next.
They thought they were buying the next in 8
At least Leo Perez is successful. Madrid is winning.
Yeah, Madrid is winning. They're going to win the league. Probably they're going to win the Champions League next season when Mbappe comes.
Yeah.
So, but overall, it was a disappointing week for Champions League.
Yeah.
Like that, the way we were hyping that matchup, I was very disappointed, especially first half.
And I mean, there is one person that I played. I played Messi. Because honestly, and the best player in that game was Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe
for me was Mbappe. I mean, we expected that, but we expected Messi to do something. Also. And part of the blame for the Champions League match to be boring and to be in that state is Messi, because he didn't turn up, didn't even play.
And
it wasn't interesting.
But it wasn't a coincidence that Messi, when he was missing a penalty, Ronaldo was scoring on the other side.
He was scoring against Brighton in a match that they were horrible. I mean, you can push an agenda if you want to push an agenda, but even Ronaldo is past it. But we're not talking about Ronaldo now.
Both players have finished now, to be honest. Like, you see, if they put Messi and Ronaldo in the next best World 11, I'm gonna lose it to Van. I promise you. In FIFA World 11,
do you see the last one? What they did? Do you see what the last one they did? For the first time, there was not an 11. They had a guest. You saw that 11.
There was a guest. Who was the guest?
Which one was it?
There was no guest, but I think there was an honorary player or an honorary mention, but there was Ronaldo in that 11. There was a full 11, and then there was Ronaldo. I'm not saying they made the space for Ronaldo, but they just needed to have Ronaldo and Messi in the same team. And all the other players that were there, they were deserving to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, there were even some players that were missing that you could see they were big shots in the midfield. But they preferred the 12 men to be Messi or Ronaldo.
I'm trying. Yeah, when I'm fine. This last year should be the last year we talk about Messi.
About Messi.
It's fine.
And well, I think it was better when they were still winning trophies. As much as they were not winning them individually, but at least
as a team,
the name, there was substance behind the name. When you're talking about Messi, there was substance behind. There was a team behind Messi, and there were
numbers
trophies, and there were numbers. But now it looks like it's just names. I mean, Messi has 2 league goals.
The whole season.
2 league 1 goals.
It's peak there,
but what I like about those two players, because if once they're goals, can never be undone. They can always turn up. They can never be written off.
Yeah.
But they can never. We don't want them to be the talk of the town. Now we've had it.
Yeah,
we know they can turn up when they want to, but we know their standards. We know their levels. And right now they are nowhere near those levels. That's enough.
I'd rather talk about Fred.
The number 17 who matters, the greatest number 17 in the Premier League. Who is Depray? What do you want to talk about? I was checking the Champions League fixtures. It doesn't look the Premier League fixtures. It doesn't look like there's a big match. But it's Arsenal and Brentford. Arsenal at home. So
yeah, I think Arsenal are gonna win, and we have our full squad now. So everyone is filled. I mean, everyone is fit. No one is suspended. So Tomiyasu, I think Tomiyasu is back fit again.
I saw that match. What was the last match Arsenal played?
Wolves.
When they got a red card.
Yeah, it was Wolves. No, Gabriel is suspended. Fuck.
I had the commentator saying Arsenal were the most prepared team to play with 10 men.
And we were fine. I feel like at this point Arsenal go into every game knowing that they might get a red card. So they
are prepared.
They are prepared. Even their bench, you can see these guys are prepared. Sometimes you might get a red card.
Yeah, they went down to 10 men against Liverpool and they played that match pretty well. So I'm sure in their mindset they know that even if we go down
to 10 men.
to 10 men, you can
But I
still do
hope
something.
Arteta doesn't play Pablo Mara.
Every
I
training
wonder
session.
if he plays Pablo Mara, I'm gonna lose it.
Who are the defenders, man? Who are trusted back forward? Let me just see.
Gabriel is our best defender. That's the problem.
And Benoit.
And Benoit, I don't rate him. He's good, Mara.
Who's Gabriel's?
Ben White against Liverpool.
Obviously,
Yes.
is Gabriel and Ben White. They are our two best defenders right now.
Ben White against Liverpool, he moved a sliding tackle out towards the outside, leading him towards.
Both goals he was on the floor. Diogo Jota put him on the floor. Man.
And it was not even
On his
dribbling.
ass,
It was just a fake shot.
On his ass. He was on his ass, boy. I'm like, guys.
50 minutes.
This is
Ben White.
50 minutes, Ben White. Fine.
Yeah, but let's just run through the predictions, then we can.
West Ham Newcastle is gonna be a big game, man.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for Newcastle because West Ham our.
Rivals. Arsenal are your biggest rivals.
Yeah, I'm
not
saying
West
that
Ham.
game. I'm saying that game.
Oh.
I
No,
mean,
just in
Arsenal-
general, for top four.
For top four, but
Arsenal, we are
West-
the biggest rivals. Tottenham, they are shit. West Ham are not good enough. So essentially, right now, United, it's between United and Arsenal for me.
But at this moment, I don't see United making the top four.
The top four.
I don't. Unless
and-
the
and-
teams that you're talking about, unless
They drop points, yeah. And also, United's fixture list is crazy, man. The next 5 games for United, defining season, man. I wonder if United doesn't come out of those 5 games with at least 10 points.
They won't.
Man, it's over.
They
It's
won't.
over.
I watch. I think they're playing City, then they play. I think they Spurs in the mix. I'm
Yeah,
not
there's-
sure.
so you
And
think
then there's
it's
2
equal,
Atletico
Yeah,
matches in between.
in between.
And we've dropped points against Brighton and Southampton. The list goes on and on and.
It's peak for United, man.
So what are you saying? Newcastle, West Ham.
West Ham is on a win.
I think Trippier.
But Newcastle are on form. I
They're
think
not
New-
on
I think
form.
it's gonna be a draw.
They're just winning games and it's something that they never used to do.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a draw.
West Ham will
Because
win.
West Ham are not in good form. They're not in a good place. Their defender Ken Zuma. They're in general. They're not in a good.
Yeah, and it's that thing that's happening in the club.
Yeah, in the club. So I feel like, but Newcastle also they don't have enough quality.
I think Trippier is also injured.
Yeah, Trippier is also injured. He has been their best player. So I feel like it's gonna be a draw. I'm sure they're gonna go into the game looking for a draw.
Man City, Tottenham.
And Man City all day,
That's
man.
a shout.
It's a shout.
It's a shout.
That's a shit.
No, I'm saying looking at this fixtures, that's a shout.
Did you see how they considered those 2 goals against Wolves?
It's
Shocking defending, man.
I see the defending, but shocking goalkeeping.
Well,
It's goalkeeping error and 2 goalkeeping errors within the first 17 minutes and it's 2-0. The game
the
ended.
game is over. I've never seen such a team play so bad, man.
And Conte was saying that it's hard for him to comment about this thing of top 4 race because he's used to fighting for
For the league.
the league.
And he's right.
And he's right. Once you start talking about the top 4, I mean it's the reality, but do you think if Spurs make the top 4, just like United, if they make the top 4, do you think they are going to do something wow in the Champions League?
No, they're not. They're probably gonna go out.
They are going to be the meat of the Champions League. Everyone wants to be there.
Especially if Conte is not a long-term coach.
Yeah, Conte.
Once-
He's supposed to.
For me,
for 3
once
years.
he's next, let him go.
Yeah. Once he brings his players, it's over.
Yeah, once he brings a coach, almost see. Alonso.
Alonso. Big Rowe.
But you can see like even the players they signed, Napo Bentancur and who's the other Kulusevski. Like he's not even playing them.
They brought a Lamela replacement and then sent him out.
Sent him out.
I could see that boy is prominent, but he's not a Conte player.
Yeah.
He likes taking on players and he
He likes
doesn't want to
playing
defend. He
football.
likes playing and Conte doesn't want that.
Conte doesn't want.
He returned him back to Spain for more development.
But I feel like Leeds United is also gonna be a good game. Leeds
and
United.
Yeah, Leeds and United.
Oh,
It's a good
United.
game because Leeds, you see Leeds, I like them because they are open. they go for it. But sometimes, if you're a weak team like United, you need teams that.
Yeah, if you go for it and you find Maguire, you'll find it.
And you
Hands off Maguire. Hands off my captain.
The guy is working overtime.
Yo,
He's always
making.
He's always making big saves. But
So I'm seeing Maguire making a lot of saves now. Where's Bamford?
Hey, Bamford has been.
Bamford is a championship striker, to be honest.
Bamford has
At least he was scoring Yana last season.
Last season, yeah. I think he's been injured.
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 I mean, it's vice versa. Leeds not being like that is because Bamford is out, and Bamford being like this because Leeds has been shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Calvin Phillips has been injured.
Yeah, even Calvin Phillips, that's a big miss.
Big miss. And I think.
Where's Dallas?
Dallas got injured as well.
Oh, God. So, yeah.
As long as Rafinha is there.
Yeah,
And then they lost Eli.
Amaris is leaving. I'm sure a big club is going to sign him.
And if Liverpool didn't sign Diaz,
they're going to sign Rafinha.
Sign Rafinha. Oh, yeah.
But apparently he wants to go to Spain though.
To play for what?
Madrid. And he's not going to make it. Once Mbappe is there. and if he goes to Barcelona, it's a disaster.
It's a disaster. Obviously, there's Valverde, so he can't go to. Because he plays. He plays as a 10. And
he also plays as a winger.
Yeah, I don't know. Because there's Isco there, and Isco is a 10.
Isco must just retire from football. We love him, but it seems like he doesn't love the game. He's just happy to be connecting with his Champions League medals and with no contribution at all. He's going to have another league there. And he hasn't played.
But I feel like it's going to be a good game week. Yeah, we just need to check that game that we need to do a watch along for. But it has to have Chelsea, Man United, or Arsenal at some point.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we'll just agree.
I'm suggesting United, Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Because when I want to get reaction from me.
Because there won't be football.
There won't be any
Chelsea
football.
don't play, they just come.
Chelsea don't play. They just
But otherwise,
and win cups. That is a lot of trophies.
what do you want to say before we close?
But yeah, I think there's nothing that Arsenal fans or Man United fans can say to Chelsea fans now.
To any football fans, for that matter. What can you say to West Ham? They're above us. Hey.
I'm naive City, you can't talk to me. Small boys.
City,
But City, yeah. But they win the Champions League this season. I think.
Pity they won't.
I don't see them.
I don't see them. Champions League.
That thing, yes.
Boy, can you bet? Okay, but I don't like making bets if it's not my own team because I need on mine. Like if they,
it's not the
even if they win, okay, it's fine. I said they won't.
Imagine now I'm bitter because of this man and my Manchester City is winning the Champions. That's like double whammy, dude.
It's been a great episode. Please comment on the video. Let us know what you think about our predictions. And just
if you want to play FIFA, and you trust your FIFA.
And you think you're above 8 over 10.
If you think you're above 10. Just please comment down below on the video, and please subscribe. Please share the videos. I would really appreciate your support. I saw we hit 70 subscribers.
We just
So
30 to go. 30 to go.
30 to go to 100.
To 100.
Road to 30.
Road to 100.
Road to
30 to
100.
go. So tell your friends to tell their friends to watch the most podcast in the world.
In the country.
What else do you want to say? There is truly this episode has been a reflection of the football this week. Great football and great episode.
I'm sure he's a very happy Chelsea fan right now.
But Chelsea fans are always happy, they are always happy. Even their critics, it's always like technical things that you're not a good passer. It's not something blatant, it's like Maguire.
Yeah.
But there is Alonso.
Yeah, and also it's a pandemic, but at least we're towards the end of the
But
pandemic.
not Alonso. Kepa, shout out to Kepa, okay? I am sorry for saying
You said it was a goalkeeper, I remember.
You said it was
It's
Kepa.
not said Chelsea when men went for that thought. He said Chelsea have no goalkeeper.
I got the word.
That time they were
You
the
know-
most expensive keeper in the
And-
world.
and-
But you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I remember when we bought to Kepa. Kepa, yes, Kepa gave me nightmares.
It was supposed to be that signing, but I clearly.
Yeah, I get Chelsea left Alisson and went for Kepa in the deadline day. I think Roma was asking for 70 million for Alisson.
Alisson.
It was like, it changed. And then Alisson went to Liverpool and like, fuck, we don't have a keep. They bought to Kepa.
They bought to Kepa.
Higher amount. Yes.
If you, those transfer sagas, they remind me of Fabinho and Fred.
This Kepa is good, man.
Went for the pasta. Whatever.
No, imagine when she went for Fabinho. But I mean, midfield problems now they are sorted.
But I doubt because the club is in shambles.
No, Nina.
We've made a pretty good signings. We made Bruno Fernandes was a good signing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Because
saying
someone is
CDM, one proper CDM. A CDM.
I think they just need to buy Declan Rice and they'll be fine.
You see, Declan Rice and Harry Kane are quick
it's-
fixes that.
And Declan, I
don't
think
want to see.
they put a 100 million price.
It's worse. You see now, I want to do away with English players as much as I can because as much as we love Declan Rice, but he will put up bad performances there and there.
Yeah,
And the
but
one thing
Declan
that
Rice is
you
solid.
don't want to see. Yeah?
Declan Rice is solid.
It's solid, but
He is solid.
100 million, it's too much. This English player, I mean, this English text thing.
And because that's the thing, if you buy a player for 100 million and it's English, now you are with him forever. Because right now, that's why they don't want to criticize Maguire. Because once you criticize him, you must sell him. And if you sell a player that you bought for 80 million and he has 3 or 4 years of this contract, you're probably going to your own loss already. And you don't want to do that. Mainly because it's English. And if you go for Declan Rice or Harry Kane, you are compounding the problem. We need a good CDM. Tochomeni, there's Kamara, there is a lot of players, good players that can play for United. You must let the Declan Rice to go and shine. If you want to go to Madrid, to Liverpool, to Chelsea, even Harry Kane, because I mean Declan Rice is a good player, but he's not a player to build. He's not a player to develop. He's not
But
a
I mean,
player
he's young, but I get your point. I think
because the only thing right now is the step up,
It's
not
a step up,
not
yeah.
another test. Just like Sancho
I think when he just wants to go to Chelsea, Declan, and
to play with his friends.
Yeah, with his friends.
But
From
we
the
know
locals.
Salah, there's Kanté, there's Jorginho. Where is he gonna play?
But
Yeah.
he will play.
Wait.
We'll find a way.
I think that is the dream move.
Chelsea, no?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
always
it's a
supporting
good move.
Chelsea. He's always repping Chelsea, and he's always saying that he likes Mount and Chilwell and Rich because I think they're from the same academy. Also.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just wants that. And Chelsea are a big club also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No.
can polish the bench for us.
You see, you can't buy Declan Rice and put him in the bench. That's why I don't want him to go to Chelsea.
But I'd rather him go to Chelsea than United. He's a good player, but not for United.
I tell you, not gonna cough up 100 million.
But that's the
I
thing.
like
If
him.
he wants
He's a very
to,
good
if he wants
player.
to join Chelsea, then he will negotiate that he wants to.
I have a master negotiate that Marina. That's a name.
And West Ham, they'll never let
They can-
United go
Yeah.
in that deal because they wanted Lingard and United made a meal out of it. So if they want Declan Rice, they must really. They will sweat. They will have to sweat. And United is gullible dog. West Ham can come and say they want 120 million plus Lingard. United will do it just to have that big signing.
Big signing.
And they will back to square one.
You can talk about United the whole day.
The whole day, though. The whole day. But
It's
it's been
still
episode 20, though.
Episode 20, final.
Episode 20. Episode 20, we are out.
It's been a good one.
We are out. Thank you for freeing 25 debate.